Joining me now is Sean Spicer, the Chief Strategist, Communication Director for the Republican National Committee. He's been working closely with the Trump campaign. Thank you, Sean. It's good to see you. I want to give you a chance to respond. Thank you. Thank you for that. Please respond to Barbara Boxer. I want to give you a chance, and we've just heard from Donald Trump again. Because right now we don't know. What we don't know from that letter is whether or not there are any emails that come from the private server. We don't know if any emails come from Hillary Clinton, that's for sure, or went to Hillary Clinton. And we don't know if there's anything that is relevant to the investigation. So how can Donald Trump conclude that this is the worst thing since Watergate?
Here's what we do know, and this is what not only about what Barbara Boxer said, but frankly, the questions today. The burden seems to be on Director Comey. The reality is this. In February of 2013, Huma Abedin signed a Form OF 109, which states that she agrees that when she left the government, that she turned over all work-related products and devices. On June 28, 2016, she had a sworn court-ordered deposition where she said under oath that she had turned over all devices and all emails. So why is the question not being asked to Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin? Twice you have said under penalty of law that everything was turned over, because what we do know is that in both cases that was not true. So the reality is that it's not Director Comey's fault. They lied twice, and everyone wants to know if it's the director's fault or not.
Sean, let me just pause to give you the answer, because the answer, according to all of our sources, is that Huma Abedin said that wasn't her laptop, that it was Anthony Weiner's laptop. She was not aware that she had any emails at all on that laptop. Now, obviously, something is awry here, and we're about to find out from the FBI. But the point is,
so wait,
time out. 11 days.
I appreciate how the media always runs to their defense, but let's face it. She is saying that my husband, that was involved in a sexting scandal with underage people, had access to a computer that I was unaware about, that may or may not have had classified information. That's quite a defense. I mean, the idea that this is their defense.
You just made a leap to
my
classified
husband, who was involved with underage women. Hold on. I cannot believe that we are sitting around having a discussion about the fact that her defense is, while my husband may have been sexting with underage women, I didn't realize that he may or may not have had access to a computer that I did have, that may or may not have had classified information. This is mind-blowing. That everybody is rushing to her defense. There should be serious questions about how they handle. Everybody is. The burden should not be on. The burden should not be on Director Comey. Why is the director being asked? The fact of the matter is, twice they swore that they had turned over everything, Andrea. Twice they were wrong. And the fact of the matter is that this is a national disgrace.
That is still her point, apparently. And I obviously don't have firsthand knowledge of this. I'm just telling you that what they are saying, what she is apparently telling people, telling colleagues, is that that's not her laptop. So she was unaware of that she turned over, and her lawyers turned over everything, every device that they knew of. Now,
okay, but let's
we will
face
find
it,
out from the FBI. But
right, and these are the same people who told us the first time in 2013, who signed legal documents that they turned it over then. We found out that they were lying then. There were more devices. They tried to crush them with a hammer. They deleted them. They bleach blitzed them. So with all due respect, they don't exactly have a pattern of telling the truth when it comes to this whole investigation.
Well, do you think if the shoe were on the other foot, if something came out about, let's just say, the FBI, Vladimir Putin, you know, a case being either expanded or revisited 11 days before the election, and it involved your candidate, wouldn't you be crying foul?
What I would be doing is, I guarantee you, the press wouldn't be running to our defense. They would be demanding questions and how this is where it's going. The Clintons didn't seem to have a problem in 1992 when an indictment came down on Kath Weinberger days before the election, and that benefited her husband. In fact, Bill Clinton went out and talked about what a travesty this was that it was having, and put then President Bush, who was closing the gap. So again, it's always a double standard with the Clintons. When it benefits them, when Director Comey came out and held a press conference earlier this year, they talked about what a great man he was. Harry Reid talked about no one could touch the integrity of this man. Nancy Pelosi said, quote, he is a great man to have at the helm of the FBI. It's amazing how when the rules benefit them, these folks are full of praise. The second that the instance turns over on them.
In fact, we just played all of that to make that very point. And by the way, Sean, on Friday when this was breaking, I went on the air and pointed out that in 1992, I was covering Bill Clinton on October 30th, on Friday, in Pittsburgh, when that indictment came down. And as we all pointed out, and Rachel Maddow pointed out that Friday night, that indictment was dropped on December 12th after the election, but George Herbert Walker Bush told David Frost that he thought that it was a cruel blow and it helped defeat him, that he was beginning to turn the page and was beginning to narrow the gap.
I think the one thing that again, and I've said this before, but I think this entire thing has to be put in perspective. The only reason we're here is that they violated rules and regulations from the get-go. If Hillary Clinton and her aides had used a State Department email, which was the rule at the time, and hadn't tried to bleach it away, and hadn't self-selected the emails, and hadn't lied over and over again, we wouldn't be here. This is a scandal of their own choosing. They chose to evade government rules and regulations. They chose to lie and lie and lie, and this is where we are. They have no one to blame but themselves.
Sean Spicer, it's great to see you. Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being with us.